All right, you did a great job on this sequence. Not too much feedback here. This is very nice. Nice rear cross of the tunnel. Nice connection coming out of the tunnel. Nice job on the weave pulls. Here you get a little bobble because you're falling behind, and anytime you fall behind, the dog is likely to start to curl in. And you need the dog actually to drive pretty hard. In fact, it might even be the slightest turn away to this jump. And I believe after that is the tunnel, yeah. So realistically, what needs to happen is you need to not go all the way to the end of the weaves, because what that does is put you behind the wing of this jump, and you have to curve this way to get around the wing, and that also causes your dog to curve this way. So if we look at you, there's a slight curve as you get around this wing, and also your dog is catching up. So if you were to have enough independence on the weaves to be able to kind of hang out here, or even here where you're at right now, as your dog finishes, and then turn and really blast, then I think you could make that. Even here, I think you can probably run harder. So you're watching your dog very closely. It has the feeling of kind of obstacle to obstacle handling. Like you're almost there, but you need to start looking at these lines. In this case, there's a very nice line through the two jumps and into the tunnel. You don't really have to worry about this jump. It's in the way and the dog's going to take it. So even going to the end of the weave pulls, I think at this point, if you just ignored this jump and just sprinted as hard as you could for the next jump, I think that you might have eliminated this little head turn here. I think the other potential option would be to come in front cross here and handle dog on right, but at some point then you would have to cross again. So probably it would be dog on right. Once you commit him to this jump, you would put pressure on the line for the rear cross to create the turn to the tunnel. Nice pickup again. And then I see, okay, so this is where you tried to blind a couple of times and couldn't quite get there. And I'm not sure where you could pick up that time. I think here, maybe you can trust the dog a little bit more to get into the tunnel and cut across a little bit earlier and then really drive harder, but it is a tough blind to make. I think this rear cross is very nice. I think the other thing that you can do is you can treat this as a threadle. So he's taking the jump and he's headed for the wing. But when you're headed for the wing, you can absolutely justify using a threadle to come to this side, using a push to go to that side, basically disambiguating the situation for him. And so I don't know how much threadle handling you've done, but I think this would be a spot where at this point you could basically do your opposite arm threadle cue and then turn back towards the line and put pressure on it. It's essentially a threadle rear cross. So let me know if that makes sense. And a nice wrap back. Great job. Really nice team and dog. And this is tough. There's not really enough space here after this jump for this to be the ending. So I'm not surprised that jump comes down. You also want to make sure that you run through it as much as you can.